The Weekly Dose Podcast.
I am Bree.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I'm Brooke.
And we are sisters, and we are here to do this podcast.
Nux.
So today, this is our first episode, and
Officially
our first episode that we are actually going to upload this time.
We'll see.
We'll get more into that later in this video. So, first, let's introduce ourselves.
Well, you already know that I'm Brooke. But let me expand on that a little bit. My name's Brooke. I am nearly 30. Oh God. I am a marketing and media specialist, specialized in graphic design, graduate of Full Sail University out of Florida, and super passionate about the arts, being creative, things like that. I'm accident prone, which you'll learn more about after. What else are we including in that?
You can pretty much say whatever you want to say about yourself, your accomplishments, what you've done in your life that you're very proud of, that type of thing. That's it? She said, I'm done.
I just want to transition to you.
Alrighty, well, y'all already know that I'm Bree, and I am her baby sister.
Oh yeah, I'm the big sister.
Yes. I am going to turn 27 this month in January.
Whoop whoop
Whoop. And so that's going to be exciting. I am a baker. I have my own bakery. I'm going to have my own storefront again, which we can touch on later. I love to bake. I love tattoos. I got plenty of them.
She's working on it.
And yeah, I like being creative tou. I'm more of like a junk journal girly.
Junk journal.
My mouth is already like blah. But yeah, that's pretty much me. I like to bake and be creative.
We're so much more deeper than that, and you'll find out. But being at the first episode, we don't want to overwhelm you.
Yeah, that's pretty much the basis of us, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, but this podcast, we are going to be dropping weekly, hence our name, The Weekly Dose. Every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time.
Isn't it cute?
Yes, so while we're talking about that, you can follow us on our Facebook, our Instagram, our TikTok, and our YouTube channel. That's where we're going to upload every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Time, like I said.
At the Weekly Dose.
At the Weekly Dose. And, of course, we will put that in the link in the description. That way y'all know the platforms that y'all can find us on. So we're super excited about this. Well, especially me. Like, I've been so pumped to do this.
It's only been 2 years in the working.
Only. Yeah. So we actually filmed 2 previous videos, and one of them turned into, I didn't like how the editing was coming out. I was very mad about it, and I trashed that. So we filmed again. And that one, it just didn't hit the spot. I didn't personally think that it was exactly what I wanted to portray on the internet. It was kind of all over the place. We kind of put a lot into that first episode, or what was going to be our first episode. I see you smirking over there.
You are not wrong.
Yeah, we did a lot. We were name dropping people. We were putting it all on the
not
line.
saying we're not gonna name drop people. However,
yeah,
maybe dial it back just a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna try to pace this a little better, and not just kind of unload all in one episode. We got our tasty drinks with us.
Why don't you go into kind of what we're gonna be discussing on the podcast? Why or who would be our target audience?
So we're pretty much going to try to shoot to aim for the people that are like us. That are very
I'm just
weird.
kidding.
Ones that might be troubled and are looking for answers or somebody to feel like them.
Not that we can give you answers,
No.
but you can relate. We're just going to talk about the things that we struggle with on a daily basis, the things that we've struggled with growing up, the things that we know that we're struggling with in this coming year. So, and it's not just going to be struggles, it's going to be wins too.
Yeah.
But it's going to be
real
I don't
life.
want to say a lifestyle podcast, but it's going to be like a trauma dump,
Yeah.
trauma bond. It's really not that, I promise. If my counselor sees this, she's going to be like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Speaking of counselors, we are both going to therapy separately. So we have different counselors and we're working on ourselves differently.
Counselor and psych for me.
Yeah. I haven't made it to the psych yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we want people to relate to us and let them know that they're not alone in this world, because we felt alone for the longest time. And I think us working on ourselves behind the scenes and being able to do this is gonna help me and her grow, and it's gonna build our relationship a lot stronger than what it is, because we definitely need it and we have a lot to go through and unpack in our life that we're working on. And this is going to be something for the kids who don't want to speak up about getting help, or like they're just searching the internet trying to find somebody who they can relate to and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to aim for. We're going to be very real on this podcast. We're not going to sugarcoat things. Sometimes. I mean, no, we might have to dial it back.
Okay, so hold on. So let's rewind a little bit. So the goal is not to monetize, not to reach the masses, not for anything like that. So the whole goal is not to monetize. I mean, if we get monetized, cool, like whatever. Not to reach the masses, not for anything like that. The only goal here is for us to build our sisterly relationship and our best friend relationship. Touch me, my brand.
Yes.
Oh, she doesn't get it. My brand. My brand. Only Collier gets it.
I don't understand.
It's an old commercial, and it's contacts. And they're like, you don't have my brand. And then, I don't know, it's the funniest thing. I don't remember what commercial it was, but he's like, my brand. And she's like, my brand.
Interesting.
Never mind.
But
she doesn't understand me.
So previously we were talking about how we had filmed 2 videos.
I hit myself in the face.
I heard it. And in both videos we kind of went a little too deep, a little too fast, and one of the main things that we talked about was I was going through a divorce. And that was a joke. I'm not going through a divorce. I mean, I was going through it at the time. But since then, I have worked on things, and I have a husband again. And
gross.
It's
just kidding. We'll get into it.
Yeah. So, we did a lot of name dropping. And that was a lot.
Not towards him.
No.
There's a lot of other people.
Yeah, we had talked about so much. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We talked a lot. There was so much that we covered.
There was so much that we did cover. But like in this episode, we just want to keep it light. We want to talk about ourselves so our listeners and viewers can...
We're super selfish. Self-absorbed.
We can talk about us.
Ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Just kidding. But we're kind of not.
Yeah.
Talking about us. You know what I mean? Okay. My rib hurts. getting like that weird rib pain.
My rib.
My rib.
My
My
rib.
lung.
My lung. She has this crazy thing where her lung hurts randomly,
Yeah.
and then she goes, my lung.
Like, and the crazy thing is, like, I don't vape or anything like that regularly, and so
Regularly.
and so like I don't know, it feels more like a cartilage thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird.
That's weird.
But I'm going to the 8th. I have a rheumatologist appointment, so hopefully they can all of my okay, hold on. All of my inflammatory markers are really high. You may look at me and say, "Oh, it's cuz you're fat." No, it's not. We don't know what's wrong. So, I'm going to a rheumatologist. I just got done with the endocrinologist. I say got done. First, I almost said episode. First appointment. I have a bunch of blood work for that. Then I'll have a bunch of blood work for rheumatology. And hopefully, I have a lot of different questions. You guys missed it. I fell off a stage preparing for my company Christmas party, and I had 0 alcohol. I'm just really clumsy.
I'm going to insert a video of her.
Not funny.
It was
Not funny.
It was
But
funny
I was,
to me.
I was in a walking boot for like 5 weeks. The worst thing ever. I finally was like, I can't not walk anymore. They tried to put me on crutches. After 3 days, I said no. 45 minutes to like walk anywhere was just ridiculous. So I kicked those, did the boot, kicked the boot because it was too heavy and it hurt my hips. What else?
So now you're walking on both feet.
Yeah. You can't see them.
Normal.
They're down there, though.
Okay, so we are going to move into our It's Not That Deep segment. Is that the transition?
Yeah.
Why? So originally for this segment, I was gonna insert. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm having like spicy throat right now.
She's old, and so she has like acid reflux and heartburn and stuff like that.
It's so bad too.
No. I'm the big sister, and no, I'm not bragging, but I'm kind of bragging. But I'm not bragging. I don't deal with that.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like
It's you're sipping on a margarita.
Ah, yes. A margarita. But so I was originally gonna take a clip from our previous episode of me saying I was going through a divorce, and then, do this whole thing where now I come to present day and tell y'all that I'm not getting a divorce. I wanted to tone into that a little bit more because my life has changed since the last time we filmed, and
Dramatically.
yes,
Very
very dramatically. And I was in such a bad place then, and I'm getting to be in a better place, so I feel more open to talking more about where I was then. I tried to be open in those episodes, which made the episode a lot to handle. So I was going through a divorce I left my house. I left my husband, left my house, and I realized that there was more to life than being stuck at home with a husband, and I needed to find myself.
You should also add in just a little bit of detail, like you were a stay-at-home wife.
Yeah. I was a stay-at-home wife. I didn't do anything. I didn't have a job. I mean, I was baking, and baking was pretty much my, like, getaway thing. That's what I would do when I was feeling depressed or whatever, but I was a depressed bitch. Like, straight up depressed all the time, and I didn't know why until I realized, like, I was constantly fighting with my husband. I wasn't happy with myself. I hated myself. There was no love that I had for anything in this world. Like, the one thing that my main goal was to get out of this world. And it just so happened that we filmed those episodes during September, and Brooke had a lot of good things to talk about when it comes to self-love and just, being able to get out of bed, just taking a shower. If you can't, then just getting out of the bed was good enough, and those little things I took from those episodes really helped me a lot, because I was struggling so hard. But now I'm on the verge of thriving. Like I'm happy again, and I'm on my medicine regularly now, and
because she's a little crazy baby.
I was a crazy kid. I was so bad that I would stop taking my medicine, and I would only take it once a week, maybe if that. And my therapist was like, "You should not do that." And I was like, "You're right." So I've been like honing back into loving myself, and for the first time, like actually loving myself. And I'm very happy with where I'm at in my life right now, and I can't wait to talk more about marriage and relationships and the stuff that I did go through, because it was a lot.
What message do you have for maybe any locals that may have questions or something to say regarding you getting back with your husband?
I think that, like, overall, it's okay to not go through the divorce. I'm the one who put out the divorce. I'm the one who went and filed it. I was the one expecting to get a divorce no matter what, and I didn't know how much my life would change. And talking to him a lot has helped me, because he was there through a really dark spot, and it opened my eyes to make me realize that he was my home for so long. He was my safe spot for so long, whether we were fighting or not. Like, I know that I was the issue in a lot of things, and I'm not afraid to tell him that now, because I was pushing him a lot, and there was a lot wrong with me, and he had some things that was wrong with him as well, and he's acknowledged that, and we both kind of acknowledged that we both were not in great places to be in a marriage, but we wanted to do whatever we could to make it work, now that we're both open-minded, and we're realizing that there's more to us than just being a wife and a husband. And I think that we're appreciating each other. We're appreciating each other more. And, like, to those locals who do have something to say, just don't. I mean, like, I play the clapping noise. Just don't.
The clapping noise?
Yeah. Because, like, I'm doing what's making me and him happy, and that's all that matters. Like, just know it's okay not to go through a divorce. It's okay to stick with somebody that you've been with for so long. It's okay to go get a divorce. It's okay to do whatever makes you happy.
I think it's important to kind of talk about what life looks like for you when you were separated.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of the first time in your entire life you've ever done adulthood by yourself.
I was alone. Ooh.
Well, you had people, but
I was alone, living in a separate city, and
35 minutes away.
Yes.
So far from me. Now she's back.
I was living alone in a separate city, and I was secluded to myself, but I did have my people. My support system was good at the time. Looking back at it now, my support system was very weak compared to what I thought it was. I feel very strongly about this now, because, like, I've had a while to look back on what I went through and what I was when I was alone. And I've had some shitty people in my life. Like, I know that a lot of them meaning
Not me. Not me.
a lot of them, as in like plural, because it's not just about one person.
To be clear, it's not about. It
Yeah.
is not. I just hit myself again. It is not about one person.
Yeah.
And don't. Well, I'm trying to think of words to. Hold on. Like, what's that word? Like, don't toot your own effing horn.
Yeah.
Like, if you think this is about you and the shoe fits, all right. But know that there are multiple people, not just you.
Yeah, there's
just-
more than just, like
Just saying.
2 people in my life. Like, I have quite a few people in my life, and some people just really like to take it and run. And
I mean, Olympic trials run.
And I looking back at it now, I'm like, wow, how did I make it this far with those people in my life? Because it blows my mind. Blows my mind.
But I think it took you needing to pull yourself out of it
Yeah.
and saying, like, I want to help myself and not give people power over me.
Mhm.
Let people have control, and that, I mean, that's with your husband too.
Yeah.
You know, like, he was very controlling,
Yeah.
and that was one of the downfalls of the marriage. And so for him to be able to humble himself
Mhm.
and say, okay, I want to make this work. How can I fix this? There are some people that don't do that. They point fingers and they say, you're a bad person. You used me. You're awful for everybody else,
Yeah.
including me. You ruined my family. You know, like,
yeah.
that's so ugly considering everything that you do. You're a good person. For the record, literal record, you're a good person, and I know that we're still dealing with some people, a couple.
Mhm.
I think no matter what they come back and say after this recording comes out, I think we should just
That's what I'm feeling. That's where I'm
let
at.
it go to the wind.
That's where I'm at in my life. Like, coming back and being with Lewis again. Like,
Name drop. Her husband's name's Louis.
yeah. I mean, we've been
Luis. Luisito.
We've been together for 8 years, and we've been married for a good lump of that. Pretty much all of it. I mean, I can't really lie. It was only a year difference.
Almost.
7 years. We've been married for 7 years. And, like, at this point in my life, I've gone through so many people that have just kind of just pulled themselves out of my life, and I'm
That's
okay.
okay.
And
Let
I'm
them.
okay. And I've reflected on this, like, especially this past week. I would say I've had peace in my life for the first time in a long time. And that's a lot to say.
Huge.
Because
Massive.
my life is crazy. So
It's true, though.
my life is a mess.
It's chaotic. No, not anymore.
No, it's getting stable. It's getting stable again.
Yeah, I think you're stabilizing, like you said.
Yeah.
You and your husband are working things out. You're moving back. You're transitioning back into doing things that you love
Yeah.
and loving yourself.
Yeah. Like, I'm baking again, and I'm thriving with myself, and just I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about all of this. So I want to talk more about you, though, because you went through a little scary bit of life for a second there when we were filming before, and I still might like, we're gonna have short films, short clips, Instagram posts, that type of thing on our TikToks and
kind
stuff
of
like
like
that.
vloggy material.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of that, and I actually filmed quite a bit of that, so I still have some of the vlogging stuff. So if you see stuff that is kind of like, whoa, news to me, it's just, we're just vlogging. That way
Yeah.
we can keep the life real. But she went.
It's really for us.
Yeah. And she went through this little scary part, and I was so glad to be there for her. I don't know.
I'm so glad that you were there.
Yeah, I don't know if you want
That was terrifying. So,
well, first off, let's take a quick little break, and we're gonna jump into her story.
okay, and we're back.
I'm not.
She's not. We're back. You and me. She is back now?
I think so.
Okay, we'll try. Okay, so we kind of talked about a little bit earlier. I'm like going to a couple of different specialists. But I had some weird, like crazy weird health scare just in the past few months. But basically I was having some issues with my breasts, and thunder. We're about to have really bad weather and a cold front's supposed to come in, so it's supposed to freeze.
So excited.
Side note, I'm ADHD. So I feel bad for her for editing. But anyway, so I've been kind of going through to some specialists. So back in December?
Yeah, November.
I was recommended to go see the Rose Mammography Center, breast cancer center in Houston. And so they were supposed to be doing a ultrasound on me, and we get there, and you'll see, if you see the vlog footage, you'll see. It was a whole trip. But anyway, we get there, they look at me and they're like, hey, we actually can't do a mammogram on you. You're too young. And so I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know if I have breast cancer? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was the scary part, was not knowing whether you were going to have cancer or not.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always been one of my fears. Growing up, there was someone very important who faked cancer, and it was a really intense cancer. It was like stage 4 ovarian cancer. Like, and so that plagued me my entire life. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to grow up and get cancer at 20 years old, because that's when they were diagnosed. And so, it always scared me. So as soon I started getting testing done, I'd done all of my genealogical testing, and everything came back clear, but I was still having issues with my breasts. So I go to the center, and they're like, we're just going to do an ultrasound. And I was like, well, as long as it's okay. Like, as long as we're going to be able to really test this. So they test me, or they do the ultrasound, and they tell me, like, we don't see anything weird. And then a couple of weeks later, I did get a confirmation letter in the mail saying no traces of breast cancer. Thank you, Jesus.
Whoop,
Whoop, whoop. I love this little thing. It's so funny. But that was one of the scariest times of my entire life.
Yeah.
And like, to be 28 years old and to be told, hey, you may have breast cancer. We don't know. We're going to send you to a specialist. Thank goodness I actually work for a hospital district here in Texas, and we partner with the Rose to for our patients and stuff. And so we have a really good connection with them, and I was able to get into their clinic in Houston, and get tested. And so I'm just really grateful to not only have them be a resource for me, and then also be able to go to have to deal with that and have such a great support system. She talks about how she didn't have a great, strong support system, but I did. And I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful that she continues to be a support system for everything that I go through. And not just her, but my other support. And she's my main pillar, to be clear. She is superior to all and everything. Everyone. She is my rising sun.
Oh,
The sun. The moon. She's my little baby, and I love her so much. She did my hair. She did this. not. It's fake. You wouldn't know because she did it.
Oh my
It looks
gosh.
so good.
Yeah, so that pretty much sums it up for this first episode for us. We talked about medical history to divorce to not being a divorce, and then, a little bit about ourselves.
That's not the only medical history we will cover. To be
No.
fair, we've been through a lot of shit.
Yes.
Side note, if you are younger than 18, we are going to be cussing. We're probably
yes.
going to be having alcohol. Maybe. If you have a problem with that, go ahead, click off of this video right now, and maybe don't subscribe.
Yes.
However, if you want to support us and you want to give us, if you want to watch us, give us feedback in the video. What would you like to hear us talk about? What are some struggles that you may have that you want us to kind of elaborate on? Maybe maybe it's something that we struggle with and that we may not know that somebody else struggles with. We want to comment below. We want to engage with you. We want to answer your questions. We want to get to know our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, comment, like, subscribe, hit the little bell button, ba-ding, so you get a notification whenever we post, or don't.
Yeah.
Totally up to you.
It's totally up to you. We appreciate everybody who does support us, and that we're so glad to be here, and I'm so honored to be able to do this with my sister, because this, life is not ever guaranteed the next day.
No.
And so this is just something that we're going to be
Man,
able to
and
look
I
back.
could really elaborate on that. I know our camera's about to die, but there is someone in our life who doesn't have a relationship with their siblings,
Yeah.
and that scares the shit out of me. I
Yeah.
never want that to be us, and I
Mhm.
think about it literally all day, every day. I'm like,
Dude. Yeah.
how, if I say something wrong, or if I think I said something wrong to Brie, I'm like, oh my gosh, well, how do I fix this?
Yeah.
Can I suck her toes? I'm just kidding.